I have to edit that out.
All right, welcome to the Change Your Plans podcast.
It's Joe and Vin.
Joe and Vinny back in the house.
This is what we do. Am I looking slimmer with my 2,000 calorie a day diet?
Vinny's on a little diet. He's
It's a lifestyle, Joe.
I think he looks great. I hate when people go on diets. You know what I really don't like about it?
Do tell, Joe. I'm
listen,
shocked you're not going to like it.
I don't want to sound like the old guys on the Muppets. They're up on the balcony or anything, but I think this is legit. Just live your best life. Cut back when you know what I'm saying? I feel like I never try to be in great shape.
Shocked.
Trying to lull my enemies into a false sense of security, as you can imagine.
He's an athletic panda.
But whenever I start to, like your pants get your little tight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like your favorite sweatshirt's like, oh, all right. I go on a little diet. I'd start being a little more conscious, cut the cookies out.
Dude,
you know what
speaking
I mean?
of sweatshirts, so me and my wife have matching sweatshirts because we're that couple.
Oh my God.
And so it's like 4 a.m. when I'm leaving my house. So I put this sweatshirt on. It is unbelievably tight. And I'm like, and so now I'm like freaking out. I'm like, did I gain 30 pounds overnight? So I walk into the gym and I'm like, hey, Vern, does this look small? He's like, yeah, bro. And I'm like, so I'm in the mirror and I'm like, why am I so fat? It was my wife's.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. I'm actually wearing a sweatshirt that she and I both have the same exact one. And I put hers on recently by mistake. And
how did that go? Better not say it fit because if she hears that, she's gonna rage. My wife did the dirtiest thing to me.
It's a little snug,
I'm not trying to complain about my wife because she says I complain too much about my wife, but she had shrunk a sweater in the wash and she didn't want to tell me. So I don't know if this is like 2 years ago. So I put it on, and again, my belly is it's like a quarter way down my nipples, and I'm like, what happened? She's like, well, I have to tell you, I shrunk your sweater. I'm like, well, you could have told me that before. I was freaking out for like 3 weeks. I would try it on every other day. I would just starve myself to try to fit in a sweater.
Why is so much men's fashion
tight?
Like a snuggle fit. I don't get that.
I don't think it says snuggle fit on the tag, but it should.
It should. Like a snuggle fit.
Yeah, but see,
I listen for small and medium, make that shit. When you get into the large, XL,
yeah, you can't be squeezing into some jeggings.
If you're gonna charge $3 extra for that size, I want the material.
Listen, I'm telling you, it's baggy fit this year. Anyways, this is your season, dude.
Yeah,
it's in fashion to be baggy. But I will say, when I was going through my divorce and I weighed like $160, I got to wear clothes I never wore in my life. I was just wearing weird shit because I fit in it. I was like a medium.
I have a bunch of size 34 jeans from 2015.
Okay.
I could have kept going.
Yes, so my new habit. Well, my last week's habit was eating 2,000 calories a day. So I'm tracking my food. So I've hit all my habits so far this year. So I'm pretty excited about that. Cheers to me.
Killing it.
Good
for you.
You know what my new habit is this week? Not buying anything at gas stations. It's a big habit for me.
What is it you buy at gas stations?
I like making snack stops. So I'm a big Red Bull, C4, any type of energy drink. I need one immediately. And then while I'm in there, I get snacks. And I probably drink 4 or 5 Red Bulls or something, Monsters a day.
Really?
That's after my 6 shots of espresso in the morning and my pre-workout that goes before my espressos. So I've decided to cut back. I'm allowed 1 latte a day. and no gas station stops this week.
7,000 calorie latte in the morning.
Nope. It's only 150 calories. I got it covered. Yes. And then my habit before that is after my workout, I write 3 things I'm grateful for today. So even before my day starts, yeah, you're not feeling that one either?
I like it. You know what it is? I feel like I'm failing.
No, dude, it's just little habits.
I should do that.
You shouldn't. If it doesn't work for you, that's fine.
I don't make enough time in my day.
Well, maybe that's a habit you need to work on.
Should I schedule it?
You have to schedule time for you, Joe.
That's right, I do.
You have to have a change of plans.
I gotta go. This fucking guy, he's good. I got a doctor's appointment on Thursday.
For what?
General practitioner, yearly physical.
You have one of those?
I do, and I have the best doctor in the world. Except,
oh boy,
I got a call from her office this week. I've been seeing this lady since I.
Oh wait! You got a general physician that's a female?
Yeah.
Does she check your balls?
Yeah.
Wow. Like, do you get so before your physical? Do you get ready?
I get ready every
You know
time
what I
someone's
mean.
going to see my balls.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Come on.
Just want. I don't know if you're just going in there just nature.
Like it's the 70s? What are you, out of your mind?
That is.
Come on.
How old is your doctor?
My doctor is, she's got to be probably about 40,
No.
42, something like that.
Not happening.
What?
You are I couldn't. Well, one, I haven't had a general physician, like a primary care physician, since I was 13. I haven't had a doctor.
That's a pediatrician, by the way.
Yeah, that's why I had to stop going. Said I got a little too old.
You aged out of your doctor's office.
I'm like, what do you mean, Dr. Jensen, as he's
You're
going to
supposed
jail?
to transition to a big boy doctor.
Yeah, I never
Didn't
did.
he tell you that? He
No,
didn't
I
say,
just-
hey, champ, you got to go see a big boy doctor
Just
now.
urgent cares, bro. And there is top shelf talent at urgent care.
All right, let me tell you something. When I married my wife, same deal. I hadn't seen a doctor since, I don't know, maybe birth. And my wife was like, "You need a doctor." And I started going to this local guy, a Pakistani fella, nice guy. I was doing CrossFit. He was a CrossFit guy, and he'd be like, "Do you drink?" And I'd be like, "Nope, never."
Never had a sip.
And he'd be like, "How about drugs?" "Nope, no drugs." And because I didn't I liked him,
Yeah.
I didn't trust him.
But what was he gonna do?
I've always lied to doctors. Every doctor I've met in my entire adult life, when they ask questions, it's nothing but lies.
I think most people are like that, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so I turned 40. That guy left. He moved. And a new doctor came in, and it was a little Pakistani woman.
Mm-hmm.
Now, speaks perfect English. She's adorable. She's very smart. I see this lady once a year, dude. I walk in there, and she immediately remembers that I'm a wiffle ball player.
You're a what?
I play wiffle ball. I play in a wiffle ball league.
Is that a thing?
Wiffle ball? Or
Like-
wiffle ball leagues? Yes,
Both. I don't think I've ever heard someone say I'm a wiffle ball player.
Bro,
That is.
bro, let me tell you something.
That's
been saying it-
I play frisbee golf.
I've been saying it since I was 4. I'm a wiffle ball player.
I
might, honest to God, be one of the greatest wiffle ball players. And I don't want to sound like the president of the United States talking out of my ass.
It is
I
the
mean
golden
it.
age.
Many people have said I'm the greatest wiffle ball player ever.
Do you use the big red bat?
No, come on.
You don't use the Captain Caveman bat?
I love that bat. though.
That's a good bat.
I do some damage with that bat.
Yep.
Yeah, you didn't know that? I'm like a wiffle ball legend. You really don't know that? I'm in a league in Meriden. It's in its 8th season, and I'm like the greatest player in the league's history. I can't believe we haven't talked about that.
We haven't. And you haven't invited me to play because you would no longer be.
Can I tell you something? I have had over the last 8 years many friends. A minor league baseball player, a couple of guys I played high school baseball with, other dudes that I've known since Little League, really good ball players. And I've invited them to come play
No, they
Meriden Plastic Baseball League. And most of them don't last.
Well, it's because the rules are made up and like the strike zone is stupid.
No.
Oh, I've seen it on YouTube. Like they're not strikes.
Yeah, they're strikes.
You can throw a ball behind someone's back, and if it hits that little plastic piece, it's like a strike.
Well, nobody can do that.
I've seen it,
Nobody
Joe.
really does.
I've seen it. I've seen someone greater than you at wiffle ball do it.
You haven't seen anybody greater than me at wiffle ball. False.
This is gonna be a good night. Of
I can't believe you.
podcasting.
Do you really not know this about me?
No, I didn't read it on your bio, bro.
Come on, he read the bio.
We're gonna have to do a live show from a wiffle ball game.
I will mic up and do a live show because, in addition, you know who Ricky Henderson is?
It's my favorite baseball player of all time.
No,
hands
he's
down.
my favorite
No.
baseball player of all time.
No,
My favorite
Ricky loves Ricky.
in a no hitter.
Mhm.
2 years ago, no hitter. My guy was throwing a no hitter. It's the last inning. It's 1 out. And this dude was just mowing everybody down. He throws like 85 miles an hour with like,
Yep.
Dude hits a high fly ball to the outfield.
Did you do the cross thing and then catch
Bro,
it?
I came up and I snatched
Snatch
that
it?
son of a bitch out of the fucking sky.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, I didn't know because I was a little high. I didn't know that he had a no-hitter going at the time. He would have preferred if I would have caught it with two hands. And I probably would have caught it with two hands.
If you known.
If I knew there was a no-hitter, but instead, I hot dog. I bat the championship game this year. I led off the championship game, bottom of the first inning. I knew this dude. I'm going to call him out. Carl, I'm sure you're on here.
I don't think anyone is. Just one person's on. And
Carl.
I think it's Deb.
Carl, if you're watching, first pitch, this kid kept trying to throw me a slider. The first game he pitched again, slider. Every time first pitch was a slider. And so I stepped back a little bit. He threw that pitch, boy. Gone. Bat flip, the whole nine.
Everyone, we're still talking about wiffle ball.
I'm telling you. You'll see. You'll see. You'll see. And I'm telling you, listen.
Listen, I know it's a big
If
thing.
you-
I've seen it. It's just, it's not a fun fact I knew about you, but I've never heard
How is
someone.
that a fun fact? It's a great fun fact.
I just said it was a fun fact.
Yeah.
I literally just said it was a fun fact.
Yeah, a fun fact. But you didn't know that? I thought we talked about that.
No. This is a fairly newer friendship, Joe.
Usually it's the first thing I tell people.
Hi, I'm Joe, and I play wiffle ball.
That's usually how I open. It's my opening line. What's something about you I don't know?
I'm an open book, Joe.
Is there something that you do that I don't know that you do?
No, I don't. I don't do a lot.
Well, what do you do?
I do this. I do some work. I play golf with the kiddo. I read. I like to read. And I do my dog thing. And I stare at my beautiful wife.
That's a lot of stuff, bro.
I know, but like I don't have any like fun adventure things. Like cool like wiffle ball stories. I don't like my past 5 years of like I got to coach an AAU baseball team and like stuff like that was fun.
How'd you guys do?
We did well. Everyone loved me. I think the like moms loved me. The dads hate me. I was a little reckless.
What was your record?
I don't remember. It's not important. I was only the first base coach. I wasn't like the head guy. So I told you this story. Like that. So I got when we were in a tournament in New York. I got when the kids wanted me on the bag. And the coach was like, well, he has to try out. I'm like, what? So I went to Dick's. I came in the game. Like I went to the game in stirrups, like the whole shebang, bro. Wristbands, black eye. I got chains. I got stirrups and knickers on. Knickers. Yes.
Yes.
Knickers. Yeah, so I had the whole shebang. I had brand new Oakley sunglasses. I bought a glove. And I'm like, Coach, I'm ready.
Oh, my God.
And it was the greatest, 3 months of my life. Like, by far, hands down, greatest 3 months of my life. Had a blast at practice. Kids love me. Secret handshakes at the first baseline. It was the best.
Did you play Little League?
Yes.
I think Little League is where my brother started to hate me.
I was really good at baseball, but I was slow because I couldn't run because of my disease. So they used to call me Twinkie and Twinkle Toes because I can't run. But I have a cannon of an arm. I remember my dad didn't talk to me for 6 months when I quit baseball. 6 months.
Really?
6 months, I was dead to him because I decided to play tennis instead. Because I was a very good tennis player. There's a fun fact. I love tennis.
That's a fun fact. I think I knew that you like tennis. You were into Andre Agassi.
Whoo, man. It's like Ricky Henderson, Andre Agassi. It's all those guys.
I bought a tennis racket at the height of Andre Agassi mania. And
was it the black and yellow one?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Rebel racket.
Yeah. I think I had the shorts.
You had the denim shorts with the spandex underneath?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And boy, I probably for 2 months try to play some tennis. I wasn't very good at it.
You know what I loved about tennis is I was out there by myself. There's no coach. They can't coach you from the sidelines. Remember Kilby used to pull me out of matches because I'd give him the finger during a match because my coach hated my guts, but I was wild. But it's not cool talking about tennis to any kid these days. Because no kid plays tennis.
You would think more kids would like it because of Serena Williams.
No.
It's weird.
Why? She's scary as all hell, bro. Yeah, see?
How could you not?
You know what I hear is funny thing. So talking about kids these days. So I had this young kid. We're in juvie court today. And he's just doing some jabroni shit. But he can't get to school on time. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, you don't understand. It's been 16 hard years of school. He said that with a straight face, dude. I literally almost spit in his face. I was laughing so hard in front of his dad. This kid was he's like, I'm gonna join the Navy. And I'm like, bro, you can't even get to school. You don't have a job.
Yeah, good luck with the Navy.
Anything. And then, so I have a young intern that just started with me. Nice kid. Great kid. He's going to go to law school next year. I don't know why. So I text him. Well, he texted me. He's like, hey, should I go to court with you tomorrow or should I go to the office? So if you go to court with me, you got to get there a little bit earlier. Right? You want to go to the office, you get there a little bit later. I'm like, hey, I'm going to be over here. Maybe at 8:15, we'll go to court or go to the office. What do you think this little stinker fucking
office?
And I'm like, it's dude, just get there for 8:15. You ask a young kid to get up before fucking 8:30. It's incredible. My associate yesterday, he took a late lunch and never came back. He's like, well, if I came back, I'll only be working for a half hour. And I'm like,
yeah, get a lot done in a half hour.
Oh my God, I can't. It's amazing to me. I don't even understand it. I guess I'm getting that old, but it's infuriating, the work-life balance of this generation.
Dude, I got another one of my students a job at the radio station.
Yeah.
And he has been very, very helpful. He goes around. He's like, hey, anybody got anything I can do? He's like, hey, I'd love to get some more hours. And so I said, why don't you come in at 6? You can learn how to produce this show.
Yeah.
We could use it. And he goes, what time? I go 6, and he goes, no, I'm not doing anything before 11:30.
Yeah, that's
bro, the day's over at 11:30. What are you kidding me?
Yep.
11:30. Jesus Christ. Ready for a nap.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I mean, I guess there's two thought processes, right? And I really try to keep it in mind that this generation could work different because you can work from everywhere and all of that fun stuff. But there has to be something for, hey, you get to this place at a certain time. And it's not last minute. It's not, I'm going to get up at 10 and just mosey around until I get the juices flowing. Like, I don't, like, it's just so much time wasted. Like, I get up stupid early. Like, I get up at like 4 a.m, but then, because I have my routine. I'm very routine focused, but it also, I don't have to rush into my day.
Right.
Right. And I think that's like, you don't have to cram everything into like a 5-hour window when you already got started at like 4 a.m, which is not normal, but it really does bother me. And I really try not to let it because I get like these things in my head and I just like focus on them. Right. So like I'm reading this book now. I'll tell you, you're going to like, if you like listen or read this book, you would be like, it's ridiculous. So it's like, don't believe everything you think. Right. So the whole premise of the whole book is don't think.
Just do.
It's not even do. So like, it's like, all right, you get a thought, right? And so say you have anxiety or you're stressed out, you get this thought that pops in your head. And then you decide, like, instead of just saying, okay, the thought is the thought, or like where I'm at, I'm sitting in this chair. Like you just start thinking about everything, right? And creating these scenarios and you become anxiety. So all day today, by the way, I'm like, this book is full of shit, right? Like, how could you just not think? Like just, okay, something happened, kind of sit there like, all right, it is what it is. This is the reality of the situation. Instead of putting your spin on it, which everyone does, is you're putting your spin on the stuff. So I did it all day today. And let me tell you, other than the irate conversation I had on my way home, because I just started thinking and I just went off the chains, it was a very smooth day today. Like I was just like, it was almost like I was just in it. Like I didn't really overthink anything. I didn't think about the next thing. And I'm like, okay, this calendar or this case got a little messed up or this got pushed behind. But I kind of went with the flow. Like I was in like a flow state, they say. And it was awesome.
It's interesting.
It was awesome because if you think about it, like you control how you're intaking the information and how you process it. I had a guy today, he just sends crazy text messages and emails to his ex-wife. Like crazy. Right? And I'm like, how about you just take a notebook, just write it down. And if you could read it back to your mom, you could send it. He's like, you don't understand. It's her fault. She just drives me crazy. And I'm like, listen to you. Like, whatever she's going to say is going to drive you crazy, but she's just being her. You get to control how you react to it.
Yeah.
So if you're walking in knowing you're going to deal with Crazyville, then it's your fault you're reacting. It's not the person who's trying to get the reaction. It's your fault for reacting. So like that was my mantra today, was just like, don't react, just it is what it is. I'm not going to really think about or the variety of scenarios that are in my head, why this person's saying this or why this happened. It happened. I don't need to know the why. It just happened. And you just live in the moment and you keep it moving. Man, it was a good day. It was a good day. I thought it was like a good concept. It's a short book. It's like
I like
2.5 hours. And like, you get to maybe like an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 10 minutes into it. You're like, this guy's full of nonsense, right? You're like, because how could you go your whole life without thinking? And he's like, I'm not saying don't think because that's inevitable. It's going to happen, but realize you're doing it and then you could rein it in, right? So like, you don't just go there, like you don't think about things, but like just know you're reining it in and realize that, hey, what you're thinking is probably not the reality and then adjust to it. And I thought it was like, it's a short book, but I thought it was pretty clever. Yeah, Joe's not buying into it. Like, I was trying to have this serious moment.
No, I like it. I'm glad that you're reading a good book.
You gave me that snarky sip. Like the people who are gonna listen to this on like Spotify or True Listeners or whoever's listening to this stuff, I try to give you some good tips in life. And Joe is still reveling in his wiffle ball state.
Well,
here we go.
Where
are you going? I can't see myself on the screen. We have 1,354 listeners.
That's downloads.
Is that good?
Yeah. That is good.
All right.
Well, yeah.
I take it back. Cheers. Cheers to us being awesome.
Vin has definitely, he's always very concerned about things. And that's interesting because I think I like to go with the flow attitude. I do, because that's what I do. I don't overthink things. I don't overanalyze things. I don't ever even get really overly sad about stuff. You know what I mean? I kind of go with my first bummer. What are you gonna do? And then I move on.
Yeah, I think it's something that said to be like listen to your, be intuitive, right? Like listen to the energy around you. Like I, being a business owner, and you know this, I tend to get ahead of myself, right? Like because I'm always 8 steps ahead of trying to work a file. Then I'm like, no, I got to get this business. Then I got to get home because I have this going on. Instead of just being in that flow state of like, I could worry about it and I'm still going to end up at the finish line, or I could just be like, okay, it is what it is and keep it moving. But it's funny because if big catastrophes happen in my life, I just go to it doesn't bother me. My wife could be like, hey, our house burned. I'm like, I got to finish the podcast and we're going to be good. Right. But if someone's driving 1 mile an hour over the speed limit, or I can't catch a bottle top off, I am raging out because it's just holding up my day. So I know.
No, I'm so with you on that, dude. The other day, no, my wife got really mad at me the other day because we went upstairs to bed, and I had 2 more things I needed to do before I went to bed. To send myself, I had to copy and paste something and email it to myself. Mm-hmm. 2 things. It's like a 2-minute project here, right? Get to bed, grab my laptop, and there's this new thing on Google, this AI shit. Have you seen this?
I love it. Yes.
Print, Ed, get off the screen. I don't want. Why is this on the screen? I didn't ask for this. I don't want it. Gemini?
Yeah, it's great.
I don't want it. I don't need a twin.
Oh.
I don't want it.
Oh.
I don't know how to turn it off.
Why do you need it turned off?
I said I don't want it.
Why?
I don't need AI's help.
Why?
I am a free thinker.
Yeah, but if you're Googling something, you're not free thinking.
I'm not Googling. I'm sending a Gmail email.
So it's trying to write it for you.
Yeah, watch this. Dude, watch this. This is insane.
It writes your email?
Here, you know what? Matter of fact, watch this. You ready? Here, I'll share my screen so everybody can see this nonsense. I can't even believe. Watch this. I'm going to compose an email, right? I'm going to, help me write. What is this shit? Help me write. What am I, an idiot? I don't need your help. Do you see this?
Who emails from a Gmail account?
I have a Gmail account. Why? I have 9 Gmail accounts.
Why? We're adults. You don't have Joe at clovercrest.net?
Yeah, it's a Gmail account.
Dude, just stop with the Gmail accounts. We are professionals here.
It's a Gmail account.
No, I don't like
Joe
it.
at Clovercrest Media is a Gmail account.
What? I don't need to prove this. Is going to go sideways fast.
What do you use? What do you want? Oh, you're an Outlook guy, huh?
MPFLawCT.com. You know me. Holla at your boy.
Is that Outlook?
I have no idea, dude.
Let me see your email.
No, it's private.
Outlook having motherfucker.
So that's,
look at this. Yeah, right. Great advice, Vin. I overthink stuff all the time. Tell her what the book is.
The book is, I actually just sent it to one of the girls that works in my office too, because I thought it was really good. It's called Don't Believe Everything You Think. Joseph Nguyen. Really good book. It's a short read, but it's you gotta get through half of it to understand it. But I think it's helps you live in the moment, be present, which I think is a big thing for me.
Yeah, I think that's super important.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean,
I read that book and I read another one. It was really based on community think, right? Thinking as a community is not as an individual, right? That whole throw a rock in a pond, you see the ripple and you don't know the effects of that ripple down the line. And how we are so individualistic now in our thinking, right? Instead of, what I'm talking to Joe about may have an impact on someone 100 miles away, right? Because one person hears it and yada, yada, yada. But everything we do impacts everybody else. And I think I was having a conversation with one of the the baristas at your favorite coffee shop. They're like your confidants, right? Like I don't understand how they end up like that, but it's completely frustrating that like everyone just they're so in it for themselves. What's in it for me? Not realizing that everyone impacts everybody else, no matter what station you are in life. Like, 'cause it's just a ripple effect. It's just a tidal wave of stuff. And then with the election and the shenanigans yesterday, like it just infuriates me to know. And because I don't understand the whole like I'm just in it for me mentality. I never been that way, and it's frustrating. But I read a good book on that as well. That we've talked about this. We each have our own tasks, right? And if you could just, and it kind of goes back to not thinking, like just be you in your lane, do your thing, not worrying about what other people are thinking of you or their perception or the reasons why they're doing things. Just do what you need to do, because you'll never know the real explanation on the person on the other side of the table is doing it, but know that what you're doing is impacting people that you may not see. And it's just, but it's definitely a frustrating time. And then yesterday was, I don't like to get too political on this show, but it was an impressive day yesterday. It's so infuriating. Like the shenanigans. It's just so.
What upset you?
Ooh, I think what it really pissed me off was the pardoning all of the January 6th people. Like it's like I cannot tell you. Like I don't care if Joe Biden pardoned his whole family and his maybe someday grandkids. Like I don't care. Like if take responsibility for what you did. If you believe that's what needed to be done for the betterment, okay, fine. But take responsibility for it. Because you had the LA riots, you have riots everywhere. No one's ever gotten pardoned, right? And those people felt like they were doing the right thing for social justice and a variety of things. Like, what were you doing this for? And then to the cops that got hurt, the people that got hurt, injured, the person that died, I'm going to wipe the slate clean on everything. And then everyone cheers about it, which is crazy because it's the show of it. I think, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I think it really, like, it infuriates me. And I told my barista, and I'm like, you know what? I shouldn't get that mad because I'm a 45-year-old white guy who does well for a living. So no matter who's in the office, I'm untouchable. Like, it's really not going to affect my life. So I don't know why I get so pent up about it, other than I think I see a bigger picture of where it's going, and it's just it's
is it fair to say you feel like if you were in that position that you think you would do the right thing?
1,000%. Like it's without question, but that's why I would never be in that position, because being in that position is not about doing the right thing. It used to be, but it's so much more than that. And I think that's why you don't get the caliber of person running for president, because no one wants that job. But I don't think it's that hard to do the right thing, but it depends who you're talking to. What's the right thing, right? Like instead of having a community-based thought of what's best for the entire community, it's what's best for this particular sect of society or this business or this lobbyist, or whomever. Like in the case of the pardons, obviously it's in the best case for Trump. Like, you invited the crazies, you invited a guy who dressed up like Braveheart. Like, it's insane.
And the shaman.
Yeah, like so I think it's just, once again, it goes back to, what is our focus? Is it a particular group of people, or is it as a community? And we don't have that in government. And it's not Republican or Democrat. Like, they're all guilty of it. Like, that's just the way government works. But for people not to call it like you see it is ridiculous. Like, people just said, I get what he did. And instead of making a grandiose thing about he did a great thing. And that's just one of the examples, right? Do I need someone signing all these bills in front of everybody and waving a book around. Like it's a goddamn show.
Yeah.
But that's on both sides of the fence again. So it's not a Republican or Democrat thing. I think it's just almost like a disappointment in the people that are in control of this country. It's wild to me because at the end of the day, we're all like waking up in the same space, doing the same thing with the end goal of just trying to be happy. And instead it's just, we're pitted against each other all the time. And it's wild to me. Like, I don't know when that took a turn. I don't remember feeling that as a young adult or like a teenager, like having that, like such a divide in our country. But
well, again, to look at something like January 6th and to decide all 1,200 or so people convicted are equally innocent or easily guilty. You know what I mean? It's like, I would say, I think there's a good majority of people who, in connection with January 6th, were the people who, after the first line broke in and caused all the troubles, and the Proud Boys and whoever else was in there up to no good, a lot of people walked into the Capitol afterwards. And they didn't break stuff, and they didn't take stuff, and they didn't do anything wrong. And they got identified, and they got arrested, for a lot of them for trespassing.
What? That's what they did wrong.
Now, I'm all right with those people getting pardoned. I think if you didn't do anything wrong, if there's no evidence of you destroying government property, have a pardon. I would drop the charges, and I'd send you on your way. I think that's good. And this is my problem with this blanket pardon. Okay. Whoever was the first person to bust that door down, that guy's in trouble. The guy that shit on Nancy Pelosi's desk, that guy is in trouble. You know what I mean? The guy that had the zips ties and was looking for Mike Pence, that guy.
Well, I mean,
those people need to be held accountable for the crimes that they committed.
No, I'm fine with everybody because I think at the end of the day, what separates us from the majority of the countries in the world, that doesn't happen here. Like, you are who you hang out with. Our parents used to say it all the time. You want to show up and peacefully protest at the Capitol? Cool. Do I think protesting is the greatest thing? No, but hey, if that's what you want to do, cool beans. But once you cross that line, you know what you're doing. Like, and the fact that like people breach that line in this country on our Capitol is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it's like people just shrug it off. It's like you hear of like a school shooting and we just it's another one, right? Like, and it's just, I don't know where we got to that point where it's okay. And it's disappointing. And like I said, I don't know why I get so fired up about it because I've never really paid attention to politics all that much. Like, I didn't really have to, right? Like, I just don't think I had to. But I think it's not the policies and tariffs and taxes and all the dumb shit people are buying into that if they actually knew what you were talking about, you'd be like, that makes no sense. But I think it's just the social aspect of where we're going to be is just wild and scary all at the same time. So once again, if your people are about themselves, and the funny part is, like, we're just going to go on down this rabbit hole because I'm already down it. It's, you get these 90% of his supporters are like, he's going to help me and my taxes and the tariffs. Like, bro, like, unless you're making $400,000 a year, you're not seeing a tax benefit. Like, in fact, you're going to pay more taxes than I am.
I'll tell you a funny story. I have a buddy, and he's a big Trump guy.
We got a new one. We got who's MC Nemesis?
I don't know.
We like it. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
What up, Deb, as always?
So my buddy, this was during it must have been at the beginning of the pandemic. We were in his truck. So we were wearing our masks.
Yeah.
And he said to me, he expressed how much he liked Donald Trump and the 2020 election was coming up, and told me he's going to vote for Trump again. I go, dude, really? And he goes, yeah, he goes, with the tax cuts, I'm making about a extra $150 a month.
I can't.
So we're talking $25 a week. No, I'm sorry, $35 a week. That math's off.
Wiffle ball, he's good.
Yeah, my
flashcards, not so much.
But I said, you're willing to sell your fellow Americans out for $150 a month. I don't know what my number is, but I tell you this.
It's not that.
It's a lot higher than $150 a month.
But here's my thing, too, like with Trump supporters. If you would have just came out and said, hey, I didn't like the alternative. Well, I get it, right? I'm not voting for Harris. Like, they're just, and I get it. And that's a Democratic Party fault, right? Like, you killed all your best candidates, basically. And like I said, I don't sit on either side of the fence. I could respect that. I could say, you know what? You didn't like the show they were running out, so my alternative was this. Okay. But, like, to just say, like, all of this stuff this guy's saying is a great idea, it's wild. Like, I have a client, just came in, super nice. Last person I thought would be a Trump supporter. And I couldn't align where she was at with what this was at, and it just comes down to educating yourself. But once again, I just wish Trump supporters would be like, I just didn't like these people. And I went with Trump. Okay, I can understand it. But it's just the blindly support. Like, I heard some of the other, like today at the gym, was just so happy that it's going to be the Gulf of America. Like, and I'm like, if that's where we're at, like, cool, bro. Like, it's just, I don't know. But I think like I said, going back to the whole community-based thinking, I'm really like, we're just getting farther and farther and farther away from it. And I see it in my practice, right? And I think I see it, whether it's my coaching practice or my law practice, the way people deal with each other, there's always that hesitation, right? There's always that, there's this alternative motive. And that's what this type of thinking creates. Instead of just taking someone on their face value, now everyone thinks it's an angle, right? Like, your whole life is now a game of pool, right? Like, everyone's like, and instead of just, like, for me, like, I trust implicitly. And if you break that trust, I'll still let you around me, but now I know who you are, right? Like, I'm just going to continue to be me, right? And if you're a snake, I know you're a snake. You come around me, but I know how to treat a snake, right? But, like, it's just like, when I'm dealing with it with parents that are trying to co-parent, right? Like, you have this parent saying, well, this person's only doing it for this malicious reason, right? Instead of just worrying about being a father or mother and doing what you're doing and stop getting in your way. I had a mediation last week where I knew both mom and the dad. I represented mom. I knew the dad. Dad was a good guy. Went through a couple of hard years. Kids weren't talking to him. So I get him to a point where I'm literally arguing on the benefit of the father when I represent the mother to try to get him out of his way. And he got so mad at me. Like, he like stood up type of stuff because his attorney wasn't doing what it's supposed to be doing. And I'm like, not everything is, there's not like some alternative motive, right? Like, there used to be a day where, like, you did a handshake deal and that was a handshake deal, right? Like, that was, and it's just, I had this conversation with my stepson yesterday. He has a couple of private lesson clients. He's coaching baseball, trying to get into that. Went snowboarding yesterday. He forgot he had a client. He's like, well, I forgot it was Monday because, it's Monday. And I'm like, dude, like, well, you're an adult now. It's Monday. I'm like, but you got to understand, like, your word is your bond. Like, that is your name, right? Like, just the oops. And he felt bad about it. But I try to impress upon people, like, I'm my biggest sales pitch, right? Like, I don't have billboards. I don't have stuff. You don't have people like us for us because we're not perfect, but we're us. And I think it really just, it frustrates me because I'd like to be able to know or think that when I'm talking to someone, no one's ever 100% honest because you're talking from your own personal angle, right? Like you are, like no one has a truth serum, but like that
Wonder Woman
trust,
has a lasso of truth.
well, she could use it on me. Yeah, Wonder Woman, hottest superhero of all time.
Yeah,
I mean, change the subject, but
no. Well, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean
no, but like
to
she's
rail
like,
that
yeah, but
completely.
like, what? I mean, you say Superwoman, but I'm the original like Jiffy Ladies, Superwoman.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, like I'm a cougar hunter, ladies. But yeah, so that was my rant for tonight. That was my rant because it just like I'm really trying to, like I had a client last night. I'm on the phone and she's irate, like she's just going through a hard time, like all over the place, and I just had to keep reminding myself it's not me, it's just understand where she's coming from. And I remember I would pop off and then I would have to rein it back in. But it's tough. It's but you have to understand the other person's perspective. Like when Joe, hit me up last night, was like, where you're at, and I'm like, oops, this was supposed to happen last night, everybody. But I always rag on Joe for sleeping, and
he asked me when I want. I go, hey, when do you want to do the podcast? He goes, let's do it Monday. I was ready. I was awake.
I couldn't believe it. He called me out.
Glass in the ices. Ice in the glasses.
Dude, you are nursing that tonight, by the way. Yeah, and it was funny because I was sitting there at the.
I had more ice in here.
Okay, buddy. So it was funny. So I was sitting at the table with my wife, and we are like two ships passing in the night. Like we always have stuff going on. Like, and that's what I love about my wife. Like we could have 5 minutes and connect. Like we're just, but we do have busy like together life and separate life. And I'm like, all right, like I'm supposed to go out with so-and-so Tuesday. I got my podcast Wednesday. I got a bro dinner on Thursday. I got a dog adoption on Friday. And as soon as I said podcast, Joe's like, where are you at? And I'm like, damn.
FaceTime me real quick.
Yeah, I did. I felt bad. So, but you know what? A good thing I had. So I have, so I obviously I do the dog adoption stuff, right? And talk about like community based, and I have hope for the youth. So my wife's friend he just turned 13. This kid Chase, like he's definitely not mine because that'd be super weird, right? But like if I was to have a kid, it'd be Chase. This kid's off the charts, bro. Like you've never met a kid like he can come on a podcast and just crush it. He gives two rips about anything. So I've been trying to get. He adopted one of our dogs, so his brother was trying to get a home. So he's been active in reposting and trying to rehome. So I'm like, listen, dude, you got to get up at 8:15 if you want to go see the result of the efforts. And he brought his dog, but he was super stoked. Got up early.
Oh, that's good.
But he is he's just so ridiculous. Like, so when I say, this whole book about not thinking, like he relates a lot to like when you're a kid, right? Like for the most part, your kid life was great because you were never thinking about anything. You just had thoughts and you just moved on and flowed with life. And so this kid is the biggest flow guy you ever met. So he just asked the most ridiculous questions. But anyway, so we wanted to go, but there's a car blocking the driveway, right? So I'm just sitting there in the kitchen trying to be polite, like, and all of a sudden I turn around, there's Psycho Chase with his dog, and he's like, hey, can you move your car? Like, just no care in the world, right? And then we have to But my point was, like, he was so excited about the dog thing, and he's a young kid. He got up early, and he's like, it was nice to see like that type of stuff. And I think I told my wife, I was like, I'm gonna miss having that around when the kid goes to school. So he chose Quinnipiac.
Oh, that's good.
So,
that's Loke.
It's
great
Loke.
school too, by the way.
You know, so but I'm like, what am I gonna do now? Like, I'm gonna go to school. Like, I don't know. But I was excited. So it's still up in there, but he's gonna go to Quinnipiac. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, this kid Chase, we gotta get him on the show. Dude,
You said something interesting, and it got me thinking. You were talking about as a kid, being a kid and not really overthinking things.
Correct.
Yeah. Did I never develop?
Why
I
not?
really don't overthink shit at all.
Wait.
I guess I never have. And when you said it, I thought to myself, that sounds about right. That's not good.
Right? Like, or what I tell people is like when you're going through something that's fun, right? Like you're having a good time with your family, you're at an amusement park, dinner, whatever. You're not thinking about anything, right? You're just in the moment, right? You're at a family dinner, you're having drinks, everyone's laughing. You're not thinking about anything. You're having thoughts, and those thoughts are, this is awesome, that was funny, but you're not thinking, right? So like you get to control like that. So like that's where like I want to be. The majority of my time I want to spend in that state. Whether I could get there or not is a whole nother ball of wax, because you're going to have points where you need to think. But I think like as a child, if you remember, you weren't overthinking as a child. And then when you're in happy moments, even as an adult, like you're out with friends for dinner, like you're not thinking about anything. You're just
How
living.
old do you think you were when you started overthinking shit?
I don't think it like, so for me, it's not a overthinking as much as like I'm thinking like beyond today, right? So like there's not a problem where I overthink. Like I'm not overthinking the problem. I think it's just I can't stay present. But I think I've always been like that, to be honest with you. Probably teenage years, you know. I love my family, but I grew up in a chaotic environment, so my mind was always on rapid fire. But it's not an overthinking thing for me. I think for me, it's more of being present. But yeah, I think a lot as a kid has to do with the environment you grow up in. You having a little problem, Joe?
No. Why?
I don't know. You just seem to be
I think it's
around.
No. Just
I'm
fiddling.
sorry, I'm boring.
No, it's
you
a
with
fiddling.
My life,
It's a fiddle. No,
life story.
feel like I don't know. I really never have overthought stuff. I just, whatever. It's like stuff happens and I'm like, well, what are you going to do? Ha ha.
Yeah. No, I
that girl doesn't like me. Moving on. I don't know. It's like nothing really bothers me. I don't overthink it.
You're good looking. You have great eyes. Nothing bothers you. You're a great wiffle ball player.
No, see?
Listen, you got long hair. You might be the next Jesus.
What am I doing?
You might
wrong?
be Jesus.
I must be doing something wrong, I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Maybe
I don't know.
Not. Like you're not. Like you're not. Until you do, and I'm gonna point it out to everybody everywhere. And I'm just waiting for you to fuck up. So but yeah, like I thought it was funny as a kid. It just I don't you're gonna too. I can't wait.
Oh my god.
Can't wait to hit rock bottom and you're doing meth in an alley. I'm gonna take a picture of you. But yeah, so that's kind of been my goal for this week. So I know we don't want to do New Year, New Me, because I hate that stuff, but I think it's building those small habits for me is work. And making my screen a gray screen. I know people laugh at me, but I grayscaled my screen, cut my phone time down by 40%.
That's impressive.
Like you don't like, and we gotta talk about the TikTok ban. I can't believe we haven't talked about it.
Oh my god, I know.
Like I was so relieved that TikTok got banned because I love TikTok. I spend hours on TikTok. Like I go a rabbit hole and my friend says to me something to infect my feed. So I got to send shit back. And it was the greatest like 8 hours of my life because I couldn't go on TikTok. And I don't like Instagram reels. Like the kids like the IG reels. It's trash. But like I was like, finally. But this is how crazy our country is, by the way. We can't figure out anything in this country. Anything. But we can figure out how to get TikTok back in 7 minutes.
Isn't it funny though how and I think this is super interesting, is how quick everybody turns on stuff.
Yeah. Do we have no sound, by the way?
No, we had a little hiccup before. Everything's fine now.
Don't worry, I got the backup mics on because I'm responsible, so you could hear us in its entirety.
He's rocking the backup mic.
I am.
I just think it's weird how, like Elon Musk, everybody loved him, everybody hated him. Now people on the right and white supremacists love him, and everyone else hates him. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know.
Oh, did you see that move yesterday?
Oh my God.
And then like he realized it and he was like, sending my heart to America, bro. Like, it's wild. Like, I think the fact that TikTok got banned was crazy because then we're just like North Korea. Like, you can't have this stuff.
Yeah.
Right? But like the flip that like we're able to band together to get some social media for everybody in 7 minutes is phenomenal. Like, like it blows my mind.
I got to tell you, it was a rough couple hours in the household when TikTok. It was banned for such a short amount of time. I wouldn't have known if people hadn't said it. If they would have banned it and not announced it, by the time I went back on TikTok for the second time, wow, how about that? Yeah.
It was crazy to me. But TikTok's back. My bathroom time will go through the roof again.
So it was a national security risk, and they banned it. And then 18 hours later, not a national security threat.
It's not. Like, it's so... Like, here's my thing, too. Like, I'm not a big fan of, like, oh, my God, there's drones and people are spying. Like, I'm not doing anything. So if you want to see me helicopter my you-know-what in my front window, get after it with your drones. Spy on me all day.
I can't even tell you, for the last 5 or 6 years in the summertime, when we're outside in our pool, there's always drones flying overhead.
No,
always has
like,
been.
all these like music things and like speakers are listening.
People want to see me swimming.
Yeah. I don't.
Let's do a card before we go.
Oh, okay. By the way, for the people who can't see it, Joe spilled something on my cards. And he won't admit to it, but like they're all like folded up. They look.
I thought they came.
They look like
this.
They fell in the toilet.
Oh. What's the most difficult thing you've had to accept? What's the most difficult thing you've had to accept?
Oh, well, that's easy for me. That's my ex-wife not wanting to be with me.
Oh.
Yeah, that's like by far was...
You struggled with that, did you?
Yeah, that was a tough one. That was a tough pill to swallow. Like, not being an asshole, but like I was a good husband. Like, but it's probably somewhat of an ego thing. I think it's, yeah, man, having someone to sit there and say, hey, don't love you. You haven't, progressed in life. No, you haven't evolved as a person. Like a variety of things. I think for me, that was the most difficult thing. Cause like you could say something to me and I'm good. I got family that doesn't talk to me. I'm good. Like stuff like that. Like, but I think that was tough. That was a tough one, but it wasn't, for me, it wasn't because she felt that way. It was just like, cause then it made me take stock in me. I think that was the first time in my life I had to look in the mirror and take some ownership and some stuff and be like, all right, like I'm not a bad guy, but what could I work on type of stuff. Because I didn't think in my head, like anyone could say that shit to me. Like I didn't think, hey, you know what? You're not a great husband, yada, yada, yada. Like, so I think for me, that was a difficult one. Yeah.
Well, as you know, I'm also divorced, and
Yeah,
I think
that's
the hardest thing I've had to accept was the fact that she was an asshole and it was all her fault. Yeah, but I accepted it all the same.
No, we need a real answer, Joe.
What's the most difficult thing I've accepted? Well, the most difficult thing I've accepted is this idea that I am the greatest wiffle ball player of all time. It's a heavy burden.
You know what we
that
call
I
this?
carry.
You know what we call this in coaching, ladies and gentlemen? Deflecting. Like a wiffle ball batting a ball. Just deflecting out into the left field.
I'll tell you right now. I was 16 years old, and I was playing on an American Legion baseball team. And I had always been like a really good player, all-star everywhere I went. I was always one of the best players on the field. And I was 16, and I'm on this American Legion baseball team, and they announced the starting lineup, and I was not in it.
Yeah.
And I was obviously annoyed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked around, watching everybody warm up to like figure out, like, I'm better than. And as I looked around at all these fucking dudes, everybody's like 6'2", 6'3".
Like, this is why I'm not stuck.
Right? People running around really fast, and I'm like, oh my God.
That's why.
I'm not as good as I thought I was.
Yeah.
I thought I was a great, great, great athlete.
Yeah.
And I'm not.
That's what I was looking for.
But I'm a good wiffle ball player.
Yes.
It's not the major leagues, but it gratifies me.
It's your major league.
It is. It is, and that's why I treat it as such. But yeah, I'll never forget, honest to God, Ben, that realization where I thought, because I mean, at 16, I still was kind of thinking,
yeah, you're invincible.
Like, I could probably play for the Yankees.
I
and like
do it.
All in one afternoon, it was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to start studying harder.
Yeah, you know what's like, so on the flip side of it, like the parent side of it. So as you know, my stepson's a stud athlete. And I felt so bad for my wife last night because we're watching the college football. Like, she's a big football. She's like, I just want to see him play one more time. Like, talk about like breaking my heart. And he can. Like, he can play D1, D2, D3. He could play. He just doesn't want to for a variety of reasons he doesn't want to talk about. But I know the concussions and, but I think being on that side, and I couldn't, he's probably like you looking around, but like, he's probably like, I could do, but I don't want to. But I, like, so when you said that, like, I was thinking about it from her perspective, and that was a rough one. Cause I was like, oh, like the last, like, go as a parent, for me, not expecting to be a parent. And now I am a parent. It's, you see these things. So I think, like, when you're a kid, you got older kids and you got a young son, and I think going through it where you try not to live through your kid, right? Like, and say, like, I know he could do this, right? But I'm also like, hey, you got to temper it with, well, what does he want, right? He can go play baseball in college, you go play football in college, but is that something he really wants to do? And I don't know why he doesn't want to do it, but he doesn't. But man, like, I couldn't, but like you, like, if I was my stepson and I'm looking around the field, bro, I'm a peacock, dude. I'm Randy Macho Man, Randy Savage, dude. Like, I got a bow.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you couldn't tell me boo. And that's why he's such a better kid than I was. Because, like, I played the trumpet and I was still him in high school. That's right. Fun fact. All New England trumpet player right here. Holla at your boy.
What?
But yeah, I would have been him. If I could go back and be a kid, I would be my stepson. But like with my personality, like, he's got a cool personality, but I'm a dick. Like, so I would have been super dick.
You know how they always do those movies where the father and the son collide, and then like you should do that.
I would love to, like, my dream would be like for him just.
Everyone's like, why is Jesse such an asshole all of a sudden?
Like, I don't know why.
And you're like, I don't know.
Like for Halloween, he should have went to high school as me. And just acted out as me for like a day. it would have been like I would have never had like a prouder moment. Like I still like this is how like stupid I am, by the way. And then we're gonna end on this, right? So Jess was dating this girl, so and so on the basketball team. Things didn't work out, whatever. But for a brief period, we go watch her play basketball. Lovely girl, nothing bad to say about her. But I'd walk in and the girls would be like, "Jigga Daddy," and I'd throw my like I was in high school all over again, bro. Like in my head. Like I was,
you were loving that.
Oh my god, my wife would get so mad because I'm like, just like for that moment, I was back in high school. I was a cool kid again, and I had no problems in the world. So if you're in high school and listening to this, I don't want to hear about you had 16 rough years of your life in school. Enjoy every minute of it, because one day you're going to be in your mid 40s in a basement doing a podcast, brag about how great you are in wiffle ball. And how excited you get that high school girls scream "Jigga Daddy" when you walk into a gymnasium. And ended on that note, Joe.
I once dated a hot high school basketball player.
Like, was this recently?
No, ass. It was like 30 years ago.
You have to get
recent.
context. Like we were just talking about something, and you're like, "By the way."
Oh, I just thought it was interesting.
I didn't know if you were doing this cleanse your soul moment, dude. My bad.
Yeah.
It's okay. Listen, guys, it's our Change of Plans podcast.
See you at prom this year. I'm just kidding. I'm not going.
Oh my God. We got to go. We got to go. Change of Plans. Check me out. changeofplansct.com. He's Joe. I'm Vin. It's been a blast.